Hello, Misfits. This is Kate.
And this is Kevin.
We weren't sure who was going to start.
We were just looking at each other.
Welcome to Horrorwood.
Hello, Kate.
Hello.
How are you?
I still have some crud happening, but I never felt sick. And I don't think I'm sick. It's just like sinus drainage or something.
Drainage.
It's really annoying.
Yuck. I'm so sorry.
But I just got back from Canada.
We were both away and we were on trips. Tell me about Canada. We're in Canada again because I kept forgetting.
We went to Quebec City.
Quebec City. I kept thinking Toronto and I was like, that is not what she said.
That's where our layover was.
Okay.
Quebec City, first off, my first time in Canada. Loved it.
Great.
Beautiful. Quebec City is possibly the friendliest, just kindest town. Everyone there just seemed happy and enjoying their life.
Oh my God. What a concept.
I know. It was so nice. And what I'm so jealous of is that everyone there can speak French and English pretty fluently.
Yes.
And can switch back and forth like nobody's business. And I was so jealous of that. And I was just like, oh my God, I want to be able to speak 5 languages fluently.
Wow, that's
I
a
can
goal.
Barely speak English because I couldn't even say that sentence. But I wish I could do that. I can't. It's just not in my makeup. I needed to start when I was, 2.
That's the thing. They don't tell you that if you start young, it becomes a lot easier.
I think they do tell you that.
Oh, do they? Well, in West Virginia, they do not.
Uh-oh.
I didn't even know other language. I'm just kidding. I knew other languages were a thing, but still.
Well, I mean, some places it's required.
Right.
And I wish that we had that here. But yeah, it was so impressive, and I don't know a lick of French whatsoever. Matt has taken some French, so he knew a little bit, but I wanted to make sure that I could at least, say hello and thank you and where's the bathroom and all of those things. So what would happen is they'll approach you and they'll be like, bonjour, and I would say bonjour, and they would begin speaking in French. And then they would see the look on my face and they would go, English? And I was like, oui. And then they would speak in English fluently.
Yeah, there we go.
I wish I could have spoken French. Matt was able to do a few transactions in French.
I love that.
I do too. I wish I could do that. But yeah, it was just so nice. It was a very clean city. It was beautiful. It felt very European. And we did a walking tour the first full day that we were there. So we got all the history, and I loved that. That was awesome. And I'm glad that we did that first. So we kind of knew where we were and how that place came to be. And it was great. And the food was amazing. And yeah, I mean, even down to the hotel, the staff, I don't even know how to begin. So, because I've never had this happen at a hotel.
Okay.
First, we pull up in the cab, and it's a little cobblestone or, whatever road, and you feel like it shouldn't even be a road. And
Sure.
we pull up to this cute little boutique hotel. And, these guys were already waiting for us. They're unloading all of our luggage, and we didn't even realize. So we get out of the cab, and we walk around to the back. They were like, no, we got it. And I was like, oh. And so they're, greeting us, talking to us, yada, yada. We check in. And then one of the guys was like, do you mind if I come out to your room and help, explain everything?
Sure.
We're like, yes, please.
100%.
So we go up to the room. He's shows us where everything is, shows us how everything works. I mean, not that we couldn't figure it out.
Of course, but it's a nice touch.
Yeah. And there was a nice little greeting card waiting for us with a little box of mini muffins just included, just hey, welcome. And the staff there was just so amazing and friendly, and
I love this.
I can't even I could go on and on and on. But anyway, Quebec City, you know what you're doing, and I hope to be back soon.
I want to go.
It's so nice there.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Let's go.
How
go
was?
with you.
Please.
Oh
do.
yeah, I went to Michigan. I just got back from Michigan yesterday.
It looked so pretty.
It
The
was
picture you sent me.
gorgeous. I visited my friend Liz, and they
Hi,
live.
Liz.
Hi, Liz. They listen, and they live on a lake with their husband Dan and their child. And
The way you said that, and their child.
I don't mean I didn't want to put his name out there.
Sure,
but,
sure.
No, it was lovely. It was just relaxing, gorgeous, beautiful fall weather. I still had to work, but it was nice kind of just sitting there and looking out the window at a lake while I was like typing away at emails and stuff. And then we got to hang out in the late afternoons and evenings, and they showed me all their favorite places, and we went to an amazing like farm to table restaurant.
Ooh.
And I had rabbit schnitzel.
How was it?
Delicious.
So there was not to bring back Quebec,
Do
but
it.
there was a restaurant that our tour guide recommended, which we ended up going to a different place because Matt was just not really feeling the rabbit, but it was called Crazy Rabbit, and it was all rabbit.
Whoa. I can't say I've had rabbit before.
I'm pretty sure I have not.
Yeah, and I liked it a lot.
All right.
It was delicious.
Great. So sorry, Thumper.
Well, on
Kevin's
the way home,
coming for
you
ya.
know, there are so many rabbits around our neighborhood. I mean,
They're feral rabbits. You don't want feral rabbit up in your gourmet pot.
I don't know. I mean, we'll see how times get.
Keep it out of your air fryer. We don't need the feral.
I just bring over like air fried rat. That's awful, but it was delicious. I had a lovely time. I hadn't seen Liz in like just over 2 years.
Oh wow.
And it was lovely to reconnect. And the train ride from Chicago over there was it was about 6 hours.
Oh, longer than I realized.
Yeah, but it went fast.
Okay.
It didn't go slow. And foliage was beautiful to look at, like on the train ride. And yeah, I had a nice time.
Nice.
So I'm glad I went.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Oh, well, Kate brought me some maple candies from
They're
Canada.
so good too. Like
I'm so
a little
excited.
tin. You know those after dinner mints?
Yes.
Okay, it's kind of like that, but maple.
Oh, yes.
They're so good.
I'm so excited. That is what I'm looking forward to this evening.
You know what I'm looking forward to? The holidays. And I
Really?
don't typically say that this early.
Yeah, you don't. After Halloween, you're always like, oh, brother, look at the trees.
I am, and I usually hate it, but something this year, the spirit has hit me.
Whoa.
I've already put up our poinsettias by the fireplace. I'm ready to get that tree up. I'm ready to decorate. I've been watching all the Christmas movies. Confession time.
I love it.
I watched Hot Frosty.
How was it?
Oh, it's ridiculous. It was
Yeah.
horrible. I hated it. But also, I loved it.
You loved it.
And I watched the whole thing, and it's probably not my first viewing
You
or my
watched it
only
again?
viewing.
Oh my God. Kate rewatches it every morning.
It's so bad, it's good.
I always, yes, absolutely. I love those type of movies.
Also, there's a Mean Girls joke in it, and it's really fun.
Well, it's a Lacey Chabert, isn't it?
Yes, those are typically the only Christmas movies that
And
are
it's
like that I'll
Yeah.
watch. Is if it's Lacey Chabert.
Sorry, is it a Netflix?
Yes.
Whoa.
And it's Ted from Schitt's Creek. He plays
my
the
God.
snowman that comes to life. And Daryl from The Office is in it.
Oh
Craig
my God,
Robinson. It's
what?
got a lot of people in
That's
it.
amazing.
It's kind of like they all know that they're in a ridiculous movie because there's a blooper reel at the end.
Yes.
I won't spoil it, but like it'll make you laugh.
I will watch it.
Yeah, you will.
Before I left for Michigan, I was feeling like missing. I wanted to still get into fall and stuff.
Sure.
And so I turned on Hallmark and they had Autumn Essentials.
Oh.
And I watched a movie called Pumpkin Everything.
That sounds like your memoir.
Oh, exactly. Not the story, but the title.
Oh.
But I liked it. It was, I mean, obviously it's the same old,
Sure.
Hallmark calculation.
It's formula.
Formula. And they know that formula. And they got it and they solved it.
They solved it.
Yeah.
And they keep solving
What
it.
is the square root of feeling fuzzy inside?
Oh.
Oh my God, that was a terrible joke. Please cut it. Anyway,
I'm going to leave it in.
awful. Oh, one thing before I get started. Spencer and I this morning watched the Annie movie from 2014
I saw his post.
with Jamie Foxx and Quivanchine Wallace.
Yes.
Have you seen it?
Yes, I have.
What the fuck were they thinking?
I don't really remember because you know me. I don't remember movies.
Well, I think your mind probably blocked it out.
Okay. Possibly.
So we know that Annie is showing downtown at the Chicago Theater right now. This is not a paid advertisement because I keep seeing it on YouTube.
Yeah.
But I kind of want to go see it just to flush my mind of this terrible movie.
Yeah.
Awful.
Uh-oh.
You should be ashamed, whoever made this.
Yikes.
Anyway, that's just my little thing I wanted to get out there.
You got it. You got it out there. All right.
Let's get into it now,
Let's
Kate.
do it.
Let's talk about a story. Let's talk about a sad story. Let's talk about a mysterious story. And a rich people.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. In 1989.
1989. The same year Taylor Swift
was born.
Why did we both just say that?
My friendship bracelet lit up.
Oh, that's
the powers that be. So in 1989, Adam Hecht, the son of a wealthy Hollywood producer, vanished without a trace.
Oh.
His disappearance has baffled family, friends, and investigators for years. One minute, Adam was living a comfortable life, driving a fancy car, and teaching tennis. The next...
the pause after that. If you all had seen his face, oh my God.
My eyes didn't immediately go back to where I was. So I was like, yes.
You're like, I'm going to let you ponder on that.
Think about it. Tennis. The next, he was gone, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions and strange circumstances.
Damn.
Was it a tragic accident or something darker? This is the story of Adam Hecht, his life, his disappearance, and the haunting theories that still linger.
Kevin, not to break you from your focus, but I mean this with all sincerity. I'd like for you to record yourself reading like some Edgar Allan Poe or something.
Really? I will.
Because you have such a soothing voice.
People have told me that I don't hear it.
It's so like mellow and just like,
wow.
And then he disappeared.
Forever.
Oh.
He did. It's been solved.
Oh.
That's okay. I mean, yeah, this is just heads up, people. Unsolved mystery.
Okay.
We're talking about it.
All right.
So let's start with the famous father. Harold Hecht had a pretty impressive career in Hollywood, though he wasn't just a movie guy. He wore lots of hats. He was a film producer, dance director, talent agent, and even dabbled in Broadway as an actor and director.
Where does he find the time?
I have no clue.
All of those are full-time
He's
jobs.
tap dancing across the cities.
My goodness.
Making shows, making theater, making movies.
And also representing other actors
and
at the same time.
And also just being like, here's my friend, put him in the movie.
Put him in a movie.
Here's my talent. He was part of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences and worked with some big names in Hollywood during the 30s. Specifically. Like the Marx Brothers, Mae West, and Bing Crosby as a top-notch dance person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like he was a dance director for them.
Was he a choreographer or...
I don't think he was a choreographer. I think he just did, but I don't know what the difference is between choreography and dance direction in film.
Okay.
So that's a technical thing.
Okay.
If you know out there, let us know, or I'll look it up later. By the late 1940s, Hecht teamed up with Burt Lancaster to start Norma Productions, which turned into a powerhouse for independent films in the 1950s. Together, they created Hecht Lancaster Productions, and later Hecht Hill Lancaster Productions, because somebody else joined.
And his last name was Hill.
Yeah. These companies were all kings of indie film during their time, producing hits like Marty, which won the Oscar for Best Picture in 1956. Harold even accepted an Oscar for Wendy Hiller when she couldn't attend the ceremony for Separate Tables in 1959.
What's bizarre is I don't know that I've ever heard of Harold Hecht.
I hadn't either before this.
Like the name does not sound familiar.
Not at all, but he is like a storied past producer, director.
I mean, it sounds like it. He was doing everything.
Everything. Hecht's work wasn't just big in the U.S. He was invited by President Eisenhower to travel to Russia in 1959 when Marty became the first American film shown there since World War II.
Oh, interesting.
Over his career, 14 of his movies earned awards or nominations at major ceremonies and film festivals.
Well, damn. 4
of them, including classics like Duck Soup and Sweet Smell of Success, were added to the National Film Registry for being culturally significant movies.
Yeah, okay. I've heard of these movies, but I guess his name just hasn't popped for me.
And I think probably what it is like, it's that list of producers on movies that you sort of don't fully pay attention to everybody who's listed.
I pay attention to everyone that's listed. That's why I make you sit through the credits every time we go to the movies.
I pay attention too. I definitely don't turn my phone on.
You definitely.
Anyway. In short, Harold Hecht was a key player in shaping Hollywood's golden years, and he left behind a legacy of iconic films that are still popular today.
Harold, great job, man.
His biography is huge. Huge. I could do a 2-parter just on him, but that's not what this story's about.
Okay. Also, I feel like there was a sexual innuendo going on in there just now.
I didn't mean for it. What did it?
You were like, his biography is huge. Huge. I could do a 2-parter just on him, but that's not what this episode's about.
God. I meant it in the Pretty Woman fashion of like big mistake.
Huge. I have to go shopping now. Everyone hates us and they turned
it off. That's okay. Anywho, Harold Hecht's personal life was just as eventful as his career.
Oh.
He got married twice, and he had 6 kids altogether.
It's that big biography.
His first marriage was to Gloria Joyce Bazell in 1947. Gloria came from a showbiz family. Her dad was a theatrical attorney, and her uncle was a film director.
Okay.
She worked at MGM before marrying Harold. They had 3 kids, Stephen, who became a lawyer in Los Angeles, Duffy, a producer and writer in California,
Duffy,
and Alma, a landscape designer in Berkeley.
Didn't see that one coming, but all right.
Either. Lovely people. Or so I read. Harold and Gloria's marriage hit rocky waters, and they separated in 1959.
That's a bummer.
Gloria later filed for divorce, citing Harold's long work absences as their constant arguments.
Yeah.
He was a busy guy.
You're not home when you're in the industry in that way.
And especially that much.
Yeah.
That often. Like, you're not around.
No, you're on set constantly.
So Gloria was like, not for me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Understood.
She demanded a hefty settlement, including custody of the kids and a share of Harold's fortune, which included a Vincent van Gogh drawing.
Well, damn.
Yeah.
Who just has Van Goghs lying around?
Harold Hecht.
Harold.
Big, huge Van Gogh drawings. Their divorce was finalized in 1961, with Harold ordered to pay alimony for over a decade, even if he passed away.
Well, I imagine for the decade, because that's probably when the kids would all be 18 by then.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So Gloria eventually remarried in 1963 and then went on to live her own life.
Okay.
Harold married his second wife, English model and actress Martine Milner, in 1962.
Oh, okay. This name sounds familiar.
Do you know Martine?
This name sounds familiar.
Martine was much younger, 26 to Harold's 55.
Okay.
They had 3 kids.
Again, huge biography.
Huge drawings. Lots of things going on here. Lots of money.
They had how many kids?
3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, they didn't have 6. He had 3 with Gloria and then 3 with Martine. So their kids were Harold Jr., who went on to be an Emmy-winning sports TV producer.
Oh.
Adam, a tennis coach.
Mm-hmm.
And Rebecca, who runs a baking business.
Okay.
So,
it's interesting that they, because she was an actress, right? You said Milner?
Yeah, she's an English actress.
And he's a producer, and none of the kids, well, with the exception of Harold Jr.
Yeah, but everybody else was like, meh, not for me. Harold and Martine did split up in 1974, so it wasn't a super long marriage.
Yeah.
The divorce settlement awarded Martine their $350,000 home and a monthly allowance.
Wow. That's what happens when you marry in California. They're entitled.
You marry that cash, baby.
Well, I'm saying when you marry in California, you are automatically entitled to half.
Oh, is that a thing?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
If you were actually married in
the state of California. Yeah. I just bit my tongue when I said that.
I'm sorry.
I have to take a drink of water.
Okay.
I just turned back and there's
just blood dripping.
Just blood. I looked up and immediately saw your holiday nails.
Oh, yes. I got a few.
Did you get it? I love these. These are gorgeous.
Thank you. I'm excited to wear them. And also, speaking of looking around this closet, I forgot to mention the big news that
Is there something in here that I haven't looked at or seen?
no, but take a good long look because this might be our last recording in the crime closet. Yes.
Oh my God.
I've had painters here this week. I've had shelf installers here. Kevin just braced himself on my clothes.
I'm not actually touching them, but
he was like, "Oh no!"
I have to touch everything.
Take it all in.
Sometimes I'll just come over while we're not recording and just sit in here and like.
Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, I knew this day was coming. Oh.
I am so excited. I'm excited to have natural light while we're recording.
Yeah. Having been in the morning light the last few days, like every fucking help book says,
Kevin
to make yourself
not
feel
a morning person. He does not like it.
Well, and everybody like in self-help books talks about like get out into the morning light.
Yes,
really
it's
yourself.
nice.
Having been in it in the morning for the past few days, I guess I understand a little bit.
It's a nice thing, and it's just a bigger room, so I'll feel like I can breathe a little bit better.
Yeah.
It's cooler up there usually. I'm not gonna lie, it gets hot too, but it's less dusty.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping that we'll be able to sit a little bit further apart from each other than we are right now, so there's less mic bleed.
I see.
Because I have to cut a lot of stuff where we're both talking at the same time.
Okay.
And so hopefully it'll help that situation. And it's just like, I don't know. I'm really looking forward to it. I know that you're going to miss the crime closet. I will too. But I'm looking forward to not having to set everything up and tear everything down every single day we record.
Exactly. Yeah. No, it's all for the betterment.
Yes. I'm not going to show it to you yet.
No, I want to be surprised.
Because it's like kind of a mess right now. It's like chaotic up there. I've been working up there all day. But once it's like good.
Ready to
and
go.
we have to have contractors here again on Monday because like they screwed up one of the shelves and so they have to come repair it. But
contractors, man, get it together.
Don't even get me started on this company. I'm not going to name them because they're local and I want to support local businesses. But wow, it was a nightmare working with them.
Really?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. But you know what? It's almost done.
Yay. Good.
Yay.
Alrighty. Well, in sad news.
Oh, we really just pivoted.
Hecht passed away.
Harold.
Yes.
Okay.
In his Beverly Hills home from pancreatic cancer.
Oh.
On May 26th, 1985.
Rough way to go.
Just 6 days before his 78th birthday.
Mm.
He was laid to rest at the Westwood Village Memorial Park Cemetery in Los Angeles.
That's where Marilyn Monroe is buried.
I think so, yeah. But today, I want to talk more about his son, Adam, who went missing and was never seen again.
Yikes.
There's a great Unsolved Mysteries episode about this. Not new, but of the old
Robert Stack genre.
years. Yeah.
Yes.
It aired on October 17th, 1990. It's season 3, episode 5.
Okay.
So if you want to put names to faces, faces to names, whatever. You choose what you want to do.
Names and faces.
Names and faces.
Emojis.
Right.
Hand gestures. You can do it all.
Quotes. Go over to that episode. I liked it. It's good. So let's dive in and let's talk about Adam.
Let's do it.
Adam Arthur Hecht was born into a privileged life on August 6th, 1965.
Okay.
He grew up in a family that had access to a lot of wealth and extensive connections in Hollywood, of course.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. He lived with his parents and brother Harold Jr. and sister Rebecca. Adam attended Beverly Hills High School, where he was known for his good looks, charm, and talent for tennis.
Oh, my.
He was a sweet guy with a pretty good reputation.
Okay.
After high school, Adam seemed to live the kind of life that many people.
I thought you were going to say Penny Marshall, and I was
that
like...
Penny Marshall wanted to live.
I was like, I think she had a pretty decent life.
I love Penny Marshall. After high school, Adam seemed to live the kind of life many people dream about. He stayed in Los Angeles, where he worked as a tennis instructor.
Mm-hmm.
He spent time at the Beverly Hills Tennis Club, teaching the sport and socializing with people from all walks of life.
Sure.
His easygoing personality made him well-liked by friends, colleagues, and students.
Okay. Sounds like an all-around great guy.
He's a good guy. I found nothing in my research. I found nothing negative about him.
That's good.
In 1987, when Adam was 22 years old, he moved into a luxury apartment on Beverly Drive in Beverly Hills.
Oh, my.
His home was just a short walk from the bustling Rodeo Drive.
Goodness.
I just remember Kit, back to Pretty Woman, I'm sorry, but Kit's like, Rodeo Drive, baby, when she's like asking her where to get clothes.
Yeah. I have told you about the story of my car breaking down on Rodeo Drive, right?
I don't think you have.
Kevin.
Tell me.
Oh my God. I had this old ass Toyota Camry. I think it was Toyota Camry that I'd had for a million years.
Yeah.
And it was already on its last leg when I moved out to LA, but I just drove that sucker around until it eventually began dying multiple times.
Okay.
So Kale, who you know and who many of our listeners know because she was a co-host here, she was visiting me in LA.
Oh, wow.
And I used to be a page out there, which is like you bring in audiences for sitcoms. Mm-hmm. And so we had tickets to go to a taping of Will and Grace. So we're on Rodeo Drive because, she wanted to go to Rodeo Drive and see it. And I'm like, yeah, let's go. We go to Tiffany's. We're like going to little shops. And then when we were ready to leave to head to the studio for this taping, my car wouldn't start.
No.
We had to call AAA.
Oh.
You could not have asked for a funnier scene. It's just like me and Kale in the middle of Rodeo Drive in my old clunker beige Toyota Camry with a AAA guy. We took pictures with him because it was just funny.
That's amazing.
And he got us up and running and we made it to the studio.
Yay. And you made it and you got to see the taping.
Yeah, we made it.
I love it. That is awesome.
But yeah, of course my car dies on Rodeo
Drive.
It's like when it finally died the last time, it died in the middle of the street right off the exit ramp from Dodger Stadium. And a game had just let out.
Oh, my God. And you were blocking traffic.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Kate, I would have run away. I would have run away from it and just left it.
I just sat there looking down and I was like, there's nothing I can do. What do I do?
Were people honking and stuff?
Oh, yeah. It was awful. And then I got a new car immediately after that.
Yeah.
I was like, that's the last time.
That makes I'm anxious for you. And that happened a while ago.
It was rough. It was bad.
Okay. Damn. Okay, back to Rodeo
Sorry.
Drive. No, I love that story. Thank you for telling it. So, despite Adam's comfortable life, he began to feel that something was missing.
Okay.
He started questioning the values of wealth and materialism that had surrounded him growing up.
Sure.
There was a sense of sort of disillusionment with his surroundings and that lifestyle that he'd been living for a while. Around this time, Adam's life started to take sort of a dramatic turn.
How so?
He felt like he wasn't doing enough good and wanted to learn more about the homeless population in the area. He started spending time with people experiencing homelessness in Los Angeles.
You know what? Good on him. I feel like a lot of people in that position, it can go one of two ways, right? You can either just coast on that lifestyle for the rest of your days and not care about anyone else, or you can question things a little bit more deeply.
And that's what he started to do. And he's in his early 20s and he's like, I want to do something better than...
Yeah, that's amazing.
Right. So Adam began paying attention to those who were down on their luck. He gave away money and food and began to spend time with them.
Yeah.
Adam's family and friends were worried, probably a little shocked, I could imagine, at this. They really didn't understand why he was so drawn to this new kind of way of life and trying to help people, which was like, come on. Why are you doing that?
Why are you trying to do good?
Right. But Adam seemed determined to find meaning beyond the luxury that he'd always known.
Yeah.
And I love this personally. We're talking about a nice guy that came from a privileged family that feels like he's not doing anything and wants to make a difference. And so from everything I read about Adam, it doesn't seem that this was any kind of malintended thing.
There were no ulterior motives.
Yeah, it didn't feel like there were any motives beyond him just wanting to do good.
He was just a hot, athletic,
rich tennis
guy.
coach who wanted to help.
Yeah.
I love it.
I know you do.
He simply set out on this journey to help people in some way. And it was soon after he got into this that Adam met a homeless man by the name of Tony.
Okay.
And Tony was kind of a shy guy, a little strange, and was blind in one eye. They met by chance one day in the late 1980s while walking down Wilshire Boulevard in Los Angeles. Is it Wilshire or Wilshire?
Wilshire.
I'm sorry. Excuse me, LAers. Wilshire Boulevard. Wiltshire.
Worcestershire sauce.
Wash your sister's sauce. Have you ever heard that?
No, but that's what I'm going to say now.
Wash your sister.
Could you pass me the wash your sister song? That's actually harder to say than Worcestershire.
It is. It's Worcestershire. Ooh, I want some Chex Mix. Anyway, so Tony didn't have a last name, or it was never out there.
Know of, yeah.
Tony was a homeless man, worn down by the life on the streets. He looked rough. He had dirty clothes, and his face was weathered from living outside for so long. Most people would have walked by without a second thought, but Adam didn't. He stopped and struck up a conversation with Tony.
Yeah.
Tony's stories fascinated Adam. Let me say that again after a drink of water.
Okay.
Fascinated. I've been watching a lot of Cynthia Erivo videos.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. I'm excited for Wicked, actually.
Me too.
Do you want to go together, or do you have plans?
Okay, well, since you brought it up, I already got us tickets.
Are you serious?
It's the 26th. The ticket is my birthday present to you.
Thank you, Kate.
You're welcome. I was going to wait till a little closer, but yeah, I guess you should probably know.
Thank you. No, I have that free. I can do it.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Yay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm excited.
Yay, me too.
So back to Adam and Tony. One moment while I find my place.
Tony's story fascinated Adam.
Oh, thank you. Tony's stories fascinated Adam. He talked about life on the streets, the struggles he had faced, and the experiences that brought him to where he was.
Okay.
Adam, who had grown up surrounded by wealth, found Tony's perspective super moving. He was like, wow, I'm finally getting that perspective.
Yeah.
And it was so different from the life that Adam had known. And Tony's life carried a raw truth that he couldn't find in his own world.
I was going to say there has to be a human connection to that, an element that he does not get elsewhere in his life.
And that's exactly what Tony brought him, is this aspect and this new kind of outlook on things.
Yeah.
So their friendship grew quickly. And Adam didn't just talk to Tony, he repeatedly tried to help him. He started giving Tony money, food, and clothes. Eventually, he even invited Tony to stay in that luxury apartment on Beverly Drive. And Adam wasn't concerned about appearances or the judgment of others. To him, Tony was more than just a homeless man. He was a human being who deserved care and dignity.
Yeah. What a concept.
Right.
This is also reminding me of the episode that I did last week with Peter Arn.
Yeah, who would go around and help homeless people.
Yeah. Weird that we both
Oh
had
my
those.
God, I didn't even connect that.
It's because we're so connected,
We're
Kevin.
so connected, yeah. But the relationship wasn't simple.
Okay.
Tony had his own struggles, and living with Adam didn't erase the effects of his difficult past.
Sure.
Some reports suggest that Tony could be volatile at times, and there may have been tension between the two. I mean, if you're going to be living together with someone you just met, I can completely understand.
Even when you know the person forever, it's hard.
Exactly. Adam's family and friends were uneasy about the arrangement. They didn't understand why Adam was so attached to Tony or why he was making such drastic changes to his life.
You said this was 1987?
Yes.
Because I imagine, yes, he's showering him with money and food and clothes and shelter, but I'm guessing at that time he's maybe not thinking of mental health services.
Well, that's the thing. You know, he's a young guy who's wanting to do good, but I don't want to say this to tarnish him or in any way, but there are a lot of complexities that come with the unhoused population sometimes, and more often than not. But yeah, I don't think he quite, if you just dive into it, great, amazing, help people, please. People need help. But also there are services that need to be rendered that maybe those aren't the top of the list.
Yeah.
And especially in the late 80s.
That's what I'm saying. You
know, our whole sort of outlook and ideas finally around mental health are more recent than that, right? So I think there's some of that in this.
Yeah.
And, you know, Tony's a Skid Row person, so I don't know what else is going on there as well.
Yeah.
Despite the concerns, Adam didn't seem to care about everyone else's opinion. He kept helping Tony and spending time with him. Adam even began to drift away from his old friends and the comfortable lifestyle. Their bond, Tony and Adam's bond, was a mix of compassion, curiosity, and perhaps even a need for Adam to find something deeper in his own life, which is what we were talking about.
It is interesting that he started drifting from his friends, though.
He started to pull away from his friends and family.
Is it because they were so critical of
I think so.
his...
I think he was just looking at them and being like, I'm trying to get away from this mindset. And that's all these people talk about and think about, and how, like, what they think like, and their ideals and morals and stuff.
Yeah.
I think he was trying, he had found somebody finally outside of that was changing his perspective and his outlook on life completely.
Mm-hmm. And it feels good to help people. I mean, it just does.
It really does. So, and I think he liked helping people anyway as a tennis instructor. Like,
yeah. A hot, rich tennis instructor.
Get into it.
Kevin already has.
So Adam's relationship with Tony kind of went to another level when he took him over to his mom's house for dinner.
Oh, okay.
And they had family with his siblings and mom.
Oh, wow, okay.
Because Harold was passed away by this
right.
point. But during that meal, Tony began waving his hands over his food as if he was, like, blessing it.
Mm-hmm.
And Martine, Adam's mom, still thought the two had a good bond, but she said Adam was very, very much wanting to talk about Tony. Adam seemed to understand Tony, and I was led to believe that Tony was really being very kind to Adam as far as helping him grow up as a person and mature. That's what he said to me. He's helping me mature as a person. So the family was a little weirded out by Tony at first.
Okay.
But Martine was basically saying, like, no, Adam's explained this to me, and
this
it's
is just
helping
his personality.
him. This is who he is. This is what he does. Like, don't judge him for something like that, because it's inane. It's like, it's nothing to worry about.
Mm-hmm. The blessing
of the food.
Sure.
Yeah. Adam's sister Rebecca had also noticed this change in him after he met Tony. She said, quote, "At the beginning, Adam was an elite, preppy businessman. He drove a great car, and then met Tony, and it just all changed. And he became a mystical person, and I just didn't know him anymore."
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
That's your brother.
Yeah. His change in personality is starting to get a little more intense.
And it's interesting that it's because of this one guy, because he had talked to other homeless people before.
But it's because of Tony that all these changes are happening because of this guy.
Interesting. Like, I wonder what it was about Tony that stood out to him more than all the others that he had encountered.
I know. That's what's interesting. And I think, so as Adam spent more time with Tony, he began visiting other homeless areas in Los Angeles and staying out on the streets at night. So, like, with the population. And his brother Harold wasn't surprised by this, though. Yeah. Harold Jr. Harold Jr. said, quote, "I know that when Adam sets his mind to something, he really goes wholeheartedly into any type of project. His involvement with street people," I don't love that term, "increased when he met Tony and he started to understand their problems." So Rebecca's like, "I'm losing my brother." Harold's like, "No, I kind of get this," because he's throwing himself into it. And Martine, his mom, is like, "Well, he said this is what he wants to do." Mm-hmm. Tony and Adam also got involved in strange mystical rituals that Tony invented. Oh. In one of these rituals, Adam ended up severely burning his hand. So this is another... Now it's weird, right?
Now it's getting a little...
Like, Tony, the
dangerous.
Blessing thing was like, okay, whatever. But now it's becoming like this sort of mystical, like, religious thing.
Yeah, now I'm concerned now.
Yeah, no one really knows exactly what that was, but they knew that it was happening.
Yeah. Huh.
And Martine, Adam's mom, recalled, "All I know about the burned hand. All I know is I saw it and I said, 'My God, Adam, what happened to you?' He said, 'Oh, I was doing a test of endurance.'"
Yikes.
Yeah, I don't love that. So whatever they're doing together, he's physically hurting Adam. Yeah.
Oh, this is not going anywhere good.
Right. So by the year 1989, Adam's behavior had become more concerning to those close to him. And he started to spend less time at the tennis club and
that's
sort of like,
not good.
yeah, kind of, as you know, we're talking about he's distancing himself from relationships. It's like happening more often now.
Yeah, that's concerning.
Like cutting off friendships.
And you're also cutting out your own hobbies.
Your own
skills.
hobbies and work and stuff like that. He spent his days helping people on the streets. He told his family that he felt a spiritual connection to this path. From what I read, I couldn't find that he was like a spiritual person before something like this.
Interesting.
So I don't know what shifted.
Yeah.
Into he's now like, oh, I feel like this is my spiritual journey. Like my awakening, my thing that I need to do with my life.
Which, I mean, when you're in your 20s, I could definitely
see that
see
being
that.
The thing, yeah.
I could see that being a natural path.
Sure.
But to engage in activities that are physically harming you and then you just kind of brush it off, and to stop doing the thing that you grew up doing and love, and it's your work and your passion and you're good at it, that's a red flag.
Red flags. Yeah. We're starting to see big red flags.
Mm-hmm.
Despite the family still keep continuing to reach out and, keep contact, Adam sort of resisted it for the most part. Not saying like the contact part of it. I think he was still talking to them, but them trying to like pull him back. He was like, no, this is the path I'm on.
Wow. Okay.
Martine later said, quote, he wanted to help people, but it went too far. Friends noticed that Adam seemed more serious, distracted. Harold Jr. remembered Adam saying strange things about life and death as well.
Do we know what kind of things?
I don't know exactly what kind of things, but those were ideas that
were on his
mind.
Okay.
And coming up. And he was just, kind of chattering on about life and death.
Which again, that's a normal human.
Oh yeah, I think can
process.
Talk about that all the time. But in the context of this, it's still like,
something different from his norm.
Yeah. And then on June 7th, 1989, Adam vanished without a trace.
Whoa.
His family realized they hadn't heard from him in a while and began trying to get a hold of him. But nothing.
Oh, yikes.
His mother, Martine, had just seen Adam a week before he disappeared when they had dinner together. She later said it seemed like a normal evening, but looking back, she wondered if there had been any signs that something was wrong. She couldn't point anything out.
Interesting.
Yeah. Both his brother, Harold, and his mother, Martine, ventured to his apartment to search for him, but he wasn't there. But who was there? Tony.
Oh, that's weird.
Mm-hmm. When his brother Harold went over to the apartment and knocked on the door, Tony answered. Harold was immediately concerned.
Yeah.
He said, quote, my brother was not there, his car was not there, and I tried to get in. I said to Tony, where's Adam? Where is he gone? And in his strange way, he didn't answer the question or seem to really know anything.
Was he just silent?
He wasn't directly saying anything about Adam.
Oh, that's creepy.
Yeah.
But his car was gone.
Car was gone too.
What about his belongings?
I'll get into it.
Okay.
Yeah. A few days later, Adam's mom also went to the apartment. She had a strange encounter with Tony too. She remembered, and I'm saying this as a quote, as I'm walking back down the corridor, he's following me, and he says, give us a kiss.
What?
He starts to put his arms around me, and it was the most scary thing.
I mean, there definitely seems to be some mental things that are not addressed.
Some mental health issues that haven't been addressed here. But then also, like, you have someone who is missing now.
Give us a kiss. That's I don't even know I don't even know what to think about that.
I know, it's weird. So the family is freaked out.
Yeah.
They're like, what the fuck is happening here?
Yeah.
Adam's missing. The car's gone. So they contacted the Beverly Hills police.
Okay.
And filed a missing persons report.
Sure.
They also arranged to have Tony evicted from the apartment.
Mm-hmm.
So on July 9th of that year, 1989, Tony was evicted.
Okay.
But I will say, Tony did not try and avoid the police at all.
Okay.
He was very cooperative with them. And the police did an investigation. They talked to Tony. and local detectives interviewed him,
Mm-hmm.
but they concluded that he wasn't involved in Adam's disappearance. That was their
Really?
conclusion after
Okay.
talking to him. The whole thing feels weird and off. Adam's apartment was left in disarray, but I couldn't find that anything was like missing.
Yeah. And also, like, that could have been Adam.
That could have just been
Tony.
Tony living there. Yeah. And it wasn't the clean and orderly place that his family was used to. Like, Adam would keep his apartment pretty clean. His wallet and keys were gone, and so is his car, which was a black 1988 BMW.
Okay.
However, about a month later, police found the car abandoned in the parking lot of a rundown apartment building on North Cherokee Avenue in what's described by some of the articles I read as a less glamorous part of the city.
Okay.
I looked it up. It's about 5-ish miles away from where he was, or the area he lived in. There were several parking tickets on the windshield. Inside, the keys were still in the ignition. Police also found Adam's wallet, credit cards, and hundreds of dollars in cash and checks.
What?
About $600, I think it was.
Oh, that's weird.
There were no other clues, and there were no signs of foul play, and no like break-in or anything in the car.
How close was the car to the ocean?
I don't know. Let's look at North Cherokee Drive. Not close, not near at all.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, not near at all.
My thinking was, did he go into the ocean?
No. Yeah, I think it's the opposite direction from where he lived in Beverly Hills.
Okay. Do you know what area of town it was?
It just said the Cherokee Avenue. I don't know what
Cherokee
area
Avenue.
of town that is. It says here it's like near West Hollywood.
Okay.
After the police talked to Tony and they had ruled him out as a suspect, Tony vanished.
What?
Some say he disappeared around the same time. Did he know something? Was he involved? Or was he another victim of whatever strange forces seemed to be pulling Adam away from his life? Tony kind of went missing. I have an update, though.
Oh, okay.
So
I was just
we'll
going to
get to it
ask.
because this was a long time ago.
Okay.
And there have been no answers on this case since this happened. Finding the car and the money in the wallet was basically the last thing.
Wow. But you have an update on Tony?
I have an update on Tony. I'll get to it.
Okay.
But as far as like the case, the
with Adam.
case goes with Adam missing, there's been nothing.
Wow.
Ever since.
To not even find like the tiniest trace
Nope,
of him.
Nothing.
That's chilling.
I know, right? Adam's family has hired private investigators. They put up missing persons posters. They even consulted psychics.
They have the resources.
Resources, and they used them.
Yeah.
And they still turned up nothing.
Wow.
His mother clung to hope, saying, quote,
of course.
maybe he just wanted to start over. But deep down, the family feared the worst, that he was dead.
Ugh. Yeah, the car with the hundreds of dollars in it,
that feels weird to me, right? Because that feels staged to me almost.
Either staged or, yeah, I don't know. I'm really stuck on that. I'm stuck on the hundreds of dollars because
the money in the car thing, and the keys too. Someone could have easily come along and taken that. And it was found there a month later after the date that he after the date he disappeared.
Yeah, and if this is, you said it's like a not great area of town?
Yeah. At that time, I don't know what that area looks like now, but at the time it wasn't a glamorous area, or it wasn't.
So
in a
if
nice
anyone
area.
in need happened upon that car, jackpot.
It's a nice car. It's like a black BMW
with the keys,
and
the money.
and money and
I'm
wallet
just
and credit
stuck
cards.
on that.
Yeah.
Weird.
The case went cold for decades and still is.
Yeah, wow.
Every so often there's a new theory. People thought that maybe Adam joined a spiritual community inspired by those philosophical musings about life and death that he was talking about before he disappeared.
I could also see it of him like wanting to rid himself of material possessions and just leaving the car and money. I could see
100%.
that as a theory.
Yeah. That could be one theory. We're going to get into every theory.
Okay.
And talk about it.
Okay.
So others feared he met with foul play and maybe someone, at the hands of someone trying to help. He was trying to help. In a Lost and Found blog post about Adam and Tony, Lost and Found is a blog site about missing persons cases, and also a podcast. I don't know why I just got stuck on my words just then.
I
Just
don't
give
know.
me a second. Let me just feel it out. In that Lost and Found blog that I was just speaking so eloquently about.
Yes.
There was an update posted on September 13th, 2019.
Okay.
That Adam's brother, Harold Jr., had encountered Tony in Los Angeles.
When?
They found him in 2019.
They found him in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They found Tony in 2019. I'm going to quote that article here. Quote, Harold asked him when the last time he saw Adam was, and Tony replied, at his apartment. Harold then asked Tony if he thought any harm had come to Adam, wherein Tony replied, I don't think so. Harold said Tony seemed sincere in his answers. So Tony, after going missing for so long, just pops up in 2019.
And where did Harold run into him?
I believe it was near...
Like, were they at Ralph's?
No, it was near Skid Row. Because I think from what I remember reading on the blog post, Harold was driving near that area and saw Tony near Skid Row.
I mean, this is 30 years later.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that he would, like, recognize him. That's a long time.
I mean, he has that distinct, like, blind eye.
Oh, that's right. That's right. How old was Tony at the time that
Tony was about the same age as
Adam?
Adam. Yeah.
In my head, he was older.
No.
Okay.
They were young. They were about the same age.
Interesting. Okay.
The family was haunted by unanswered questions.
Yeah.
Did Tony know more than he was letting on? Had Adam been trying to help Tony and gotten in over his head? Or was Tony just another piece of the puzzle that didn't fit neatly? Harold Jr. dealt with the loss differently. He looked up to his older brother and admired his big heart.
I thought Adam was the middle child because it was Harold Jr.
No, I mean, Adam was the oldest. Adam, Harold, Rebecca.
Oh, okay. I thought Harold was
I
the
gave
oldest.
them in an order that maybe was out of order to begin with. My apologies, listener.
No worries, because, you said Harold first and he was Harold Jr., and I was like, well, obviously, he's the first. Okay.
But yeah, he couldn't understand why Adam had become so focused on helping someone like Tony. To him, it felt like Adam had opened a door to a darker world and gotten lost in it. Adam's disappearance has sparked numerous theories, so I want to run back through those and talk about the likelihood.
Okay.
We'll speculate wildly.
Okay.
Because that's all we can do, because there's nothing else to go on. One of the theories that popped on early was that they ran away together. Tony was left behind to, deal with, the police stuff. And then Adam had run away, and then to sort of just leave the car and go from there. I don't know if I believe that, though.
I wouldn't believe it because I don't foresee Adam putting Tony in that position to be like, clean it all up for me and then come meet me.
Yeah.
I just don't see that.
That it does feel strange. On a Reddit thread, and rumors fly.
You love a Reddit thread.
I love a Reddit thread. I'm linking it in this show notes. But I went down a rabbit hole because more than one person talked about this, that there were theories around that time in that area that Tony was also engaging in sex work.
Mm-hmm.
There was a theory that they had a larger relationship than just...
Well, I was going to ask if Adam was gay
I
or...
couldn't find anything about that. That makes me think no, but also I can't speak for someone's sexuality when it's not public.
Especially in the 80s.
In the 80s, you wouldn't have known. That came out of nowhere, that sneeze.
Everything that just happened with your face and your voice. It took me by surprise.
Me too.
I wish we'd had this on video. You couldn't have known. I can't even do it.
I was trying to get through that sentence.
I know, you really tried. And it just came at you so hard. You couldn't have known. I can't do it.
Took my breath away.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I'll never forget the look on your face.
Oh, shit. I sneezed and now I'm sweating.
I know, I'm sweating too. I was laughing too hard.
Whoosh. So there was the theory that Tony and Adam were in a relationship because Tony was a sex worker on Skid Row and that they had a private relationship and that they decided to run off with each other somehow.
Okay.
But then my question to that would be why didn't they just do it without this whole rigmarole?
Yeah.
Again, of Tony still living in the apartment
Right. I
And
don't
Adam
really
not.
buy that.
I'm not really buying it either. Harold Jr. didn't buy the Adam just wanted to escape thing either. He had said, quote, that Adam was a good person. He wouldn't just disappear like that. I think he got tangled up in something he didn't understand.
Okay.
And Harold Jr. couldn't see his brother just walking away from his life, especially not for Tony. Someone like Tony. To him, it felt like Adam had been too good-hearted, maybe even to a fault, and got involved with someone or something dangerous without realizing the consequences. Because I think it is plausible. We also have to remember that he's going into areas where people are unhoused. And there's mental health issues.
There's mental health. There's drugs.
There's drug addiction. There's alcohol addiction. There's so much.
A whole host of things
happening. And wanting to do good, but as a singular person, it's very admirable, but also like
you don't have the resources that everyone
needs. And I could see like wanting to do good turning bad somehow.
Yeah, that's plausible. I could see it.
And then also like people thought it was weird that Tony sort of ditched. We don't know if he skipped town, but he wasn't visible for a long time.
So,
but I will also say, like, especially places like Skid Row where people aren't going often, or maybe he went to a different area of the city that people weren't going to.
Well, here's my thing on that. Kind of to your point, were they really looking for Tony?
Yeah.
All those years?
Yeah.
They were.
No. I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying like, no, I don't think they were.
This sounds horrible, but it's the truth. I don't think the cops cared about Tony.
I don't think so either. I think
as soon as they ruled him out, exactly.
Yeah,
they were like,
as soon as they cleared him, they were just like, fuck it. I don't want to deal with this person
anymore.
Anymore.
They weren't going into those communities and like trying to find a missing person. No, people go missing in those communities all the time, and the cops don't care.
Exactly. And, that's another one of the theories that came up is that he, went to live in one of these communities and died there.
It's possible.
And nobody knows about it.
Can I give my theory?
Go. Yeah.
I think it could be a few things, but I think Adam possibly had some mental stuff happening too, and it made him so susceptible to Tony's religious practices and that sort of thing. And I also think he wanted to shed himself of material possessions. And it would not surprise me one bit if he told Tony, hey, I'm going to go soul searching. I'm out of here. You take the apartment.
Yeah.
And left and then didn't want his car keys or money or anything.
Dropped it somewhere where no one would really find it quickly.
He could have even told Tony like, hey, you want this? And Tony could have said no, because a lot of times they don't want all of that. It's overwhelming,
right?
And so he drove out and left it and left his life behind. And I could see he'd already been living on the streets as like his own personal journey or experiment or whatever we want to call it. So I could see him going and moving into these communities and becoming a face among many.
Yeah.
I don't think Tony had anything to do with it.
Martine would disagree with you.
Okay, what'd she say?
Martine said, I just don't know what happened. I can't believe he just walked away, but I also can't shake the feeling that Tony knew more than he let on.
I mean, yeah, that's possible.
Right.
But the part that he knew might be that Adam is out and didn't want to be found.
Right.
He was like, hey, don't.
And he respected that because they were so close with each other.
That could be a thing too.
I genuinely don't know. Another theory the family entertained was that Adam had gotten involved in something illegal, and people started wondering if maybe he got mixed up with drugs and criminal activity while hanging around with Tony. His family said that they had never saw signs that Adam had been involved in like any drugs or anything illegal, but the way he was changing so much mentally, they were also kind of wondering, is there some kind of like substance issue maybe happening here?
Very possible.
Could have been. We don't know.
And I mean, we don't know his sexuality, but if he was struggling with that, I could see him turning to something that maybe made it easier for him, or maybe he wanted to explore that further. And, I think it's possible that he did get into something and became addicted and went down that path.
And then you're stuck in that cycle.
Yeah.
And people from what I've read, from what I've seen, like when people struggle with those things, a lot more often than not, people turn their back on them and they just sort of fall deeper into it.
Yes, his family had all these resources and people were looking for him, but were they looking in
the
those
right places?
areas?
I wonder, because I feel like Harold Jr. is still, even to this day, like,
I mean, it sounds like if he was
looking
like
for
driving
him.
by Skid Row.
Yeah, like he's driving by all the places, but I don't exactly know how far into them he's going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, it's so weird. And every theory didn't fully explain why Adam would disappear. Like, there's no clear answer to this. And the family members, especially his mom, Martine, cling to the idea that he ran away to escape everything. That's what kind of keeps them going. She says, I want to believe he's out there living a different life. But the more time goes by, the harder that becomes.
That's so sad. It's just wild when they just poof,
vanish. Gone. Yeah, without a trace. No.
Weird.
The last thing is the car, the money, the wallet, and the keys. And Tony. So Adam's disappearance continues to haunt the Hecht family, and the rumors and guesses around Tony's role in it only make the mystery more complicated and tragic. He's still actively missing, and here's the public case information that you can find on the missing persons websites.
Okay.
Name Adam Arthur Hecht. Case classification endangered missing since June 7th, 1989. Last location seen Beverly Hills, Los Angeles, California. His physical description: he was 23 years old when he went missing. White male, 5'11", 160 pounds, black hair, hazel eyes. Unknown nicknames or aliases. Distinguishing marks are burn marks on his right hand.
So he would be like 58 now?
He'd be 59 now.
59.
Yeah. Identifiers, they have his dental records, fingerprints. God. They have his dental's fingerprints and DNA on file. And if you know anything, you can contact the Beverly Hills Police Department, specifically Lieutenant Elizabeth Albanese.
Is she still the one on the case?
That's the person listed to contact if you have any information. I pulled this from the current website.
Okay.
So this must be the person who's over cold cases, who you can maybe like say if you have anything. But yeah, that's the disappearance of Adam Hecht.
Wild.
I think I'm of the mindset that he something nefarious went down.
It's very possible. I mean, a lot of things are possible.
Yeah.
Especially that time, the 80s, late 80s.
Wild.
Yikes. Well, let us know what you thought in the comments on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, or Spotify at
Horrorwood Podcast.
And you can send us an email at
horrorwoodpodcast@gmail.com.
Or you can pop on over to Patreon at
patreon.com/horrorwoodpodcast.
That was a great radio voice.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm of many voices.
You do have a lot of voices. You couldn't have known.
So crazy.
Huge biography.